Imagine waking up one day, and the world has decided you're dead. I'm not talking about a movie plot. I'm talking about a real-life nightmare that happened to an ordinary man named Scott. One day, he went to use his bank card, and it was declined. Confused, he called the bank only to be told something utterly chilling. According to our records, you're deceased. Scott was the victim of a simple clerical error, a single mistaken keystroke that declared him legally dead. At first, it seemed like a bizarre mistake that could be easily fixed. He thought a few phone calls, a visit to a government office, and it would all be sorted out. But he was wrong. This was just the beginning of a descent into a bureaucratic rabbit hole that would consume years of his life. Think about what it means to be legally dead. Your bank accounts are frozen, your credit cards are canceled, your driver's license is invalid, your health insurance disappears. Every single system we rely on to function in modern society suddenly locks you out. For Scott, this wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a complete erasure of his identity. He had become a ghost in his own life. He started his journey at the Social Security Administration, the agency responsible for the error. He brought his birth certificate, his driver's license, his passport, every piece of identification he had. He stood in front of them, a living, breathing person, and yet, the computer screen said he was dead. The officials were sympathetic but explained that reversing such a declaration was a complex and slow process. They told him it could take months. So, Scott waited. But as the weeks turned into months, his situation grew more desperate. He couldn't pay his rent, he couldn't buy groceries. He had to rely on the charity of friends and family just to get by. Every interaction became a struggle. Imagine trying to explain to a cashier or a landlord that you're alive, but the government says you're not. People looked at him with a mix of pity and suspicion, as if he were running some kind of elaborate scam. The psychological toll was immense. He started to question his own existence. He would look in the mirror and wonder if he was real. The world he had known his entire life was now treating him like an apparition. He was isolated, cut off from everything and everyone. The system designed to support citizens had become an impenetrable wall, and he was on the wrong side of it. After 6 months with no progress, Scott knew he had to do more than just wait. He became his own full-time detective and advocate. He spent his days on the phone, navigating endless automated menus, being transferred from one department to another, only to be told the same thing over and over again. We're sorry, but our system shows you are deceased. Each call was a new form of torment, a reminder that to the world he was just a closed file. He wrote letters to everyone he could think of: congressmen, senators, government agency heads. He meticulously documented every phone call, every name, every broken promise. His apartment became a command center, walls covered in notes and timelines, a testament to his relentless fight to be reborn. He was battling an invisible enemy, a faceless, bureaucratic machine that had no capacity for common sense or human compassion. One of the most terrifying moments came when he had a medical emergency. He was in severe pain and needed to go to the hospital. But at the front desk, his health insurance was rejected. The reason? He was dead. He had to plead with the hospital staff, showing them his documents, trying to convince them that he was a living person in need of urgent care. It was a humiliating and terrifying experience that highlighted the life-or-death consequences of this single mistake. Years started to pass. 1 year, then 2, then 3. Most people would have given up. They would have been crushed by the weight of the system. But Scott refused. This wasn't just about getting his bank account back. It was about reclaiming his life, his identity, his very existence. His fight became a matter of principle. He was determined not to let a computer error erase a human life. He decided to take his story to the media. He contacted local news stations, hoping that public pressure could succeed where his individual efforts had failed. A journalist took an interest in his incredible story, and soon, Scott's face was on television. The headline was as sensational as it was true. The man who died while still alive. Suddenly, the world was listening. The story went viral. The government agencies that had ignored him for years were now facing a public relations nightmare. The phone calls that had previously gone unanswered were now being returned. The officials who had been so unhelpful were now scrambling to solve his case. The power of public attention was finally breaking through the bureaucratic deadlock. With the media spotlight on them, the Social Security Administration finally acted. It took high-level intervention to correct the error that had plagued Scott for so long. After nearly 4 years of being legally dead, he received a letter. It was a simple, understated document, but it was the most important piece of paper he had ever seen. It was official confirmation from the government that he was, in fact, alive. The moment he read it, a wave of relief washed over him. The battle was over. He went to the bank and, for the first time in years, his card worked. It was a small, mundane moment, but for Scott, it was a profound symbol of his victory. He was back. He existed again. But the ordeal left permanent scars. He had lost years of his life, his savings, and his trust in the systems we all take for granted. His story is a chilling reminder of how fragile our digital identities are and how a single error in a database can have devastating human consequences. It shows how easily we can be erased by the very systems designed to define us. Scott's struggle is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. He fought a lonely, exhausting battle against an unfeeling system and won. He didn't just fight for himself, he fought for the principle that a human life is more than just a data point in a computer. His story forces us to ask a critical question. In our increasingly automated world, how do we ensure that humanity is never lost in the system? Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel for more incredible true stories that you won't find anywhere else. We'll see you in the next one.